There's some movie scenes that will always stick with us. I find myself always comparing real-life experiences to these iconic scenes of cinema that are seared into my mind. Some kind of event will trigger my memory and the scene will appear. I got curious enough to research and see what goes into a scene that sticks with someone, because I feel like it could be something useful to know. It may have correlation with knowing how to make people remember you in real life, because that's just the desperate kind of things I think about. Through my research, I came down to two essential elements for making a scene that sticks: the bizarre and the emotion. Joshua Foer makes for a strong case for the bizarre as being key to the memory in his book, Moonwalking with Einstein. He says in the book, "The title refers to a memory device I used in the US Memory Championship, specifically a mnemonic that helps me memorize a deck of playing cards. Moonwalking with Einstein works as a mnemonic because it is such a goofy image. Things that are weird or colorful are the most memorable. If you try to picture Albert Einstein sliding backwards across a dance floor wearing penny loafers and a diamond glove, that's pretty much unforgettable." Here he sets forth an idea that when a scene is more set apart from the norms of what we see every day, then it can be sealed into our memory better. The visual exaggeration of an idea is one of the best ways of remembering, according to mnemonics experts. So this lines up with the idea of movie scenes being one of the easier things to remember in life because how they are based in another lens of reality. Eraserhead is one example that comes to my mind that is a good example of absurd imagery grabbing the memory of the viewer. Although it is shot in black and white and lacks the colorful description Foer used for Moonwalking with Einstein, it still manages to make use of the industrial wasteland setting by creating a unique feel in which it makes a seemingly normal thing like having dinner with a family have an incredibly uncomfortable look to it and make the viewer question eating turkey because it makes the mundane routine seem bizarre. Many other mainstream iconic movies find themselves playing with the extraordinary through the lens of a camera. Scenes that have showed dinosaurs, aliens, natural disasters, monsters, and mass destruction. Things we don't see in the average day of a human all have a bizarre factor due to how visually exaggerated these ideas are, making them seared in our minds forever. The second reason I believe movie scenes stick with people is a reason that people in general are more conscious about, that is, emotion. It is believed that the hippocampus and the two amygdalae regions in the brain play key roles in processing both memories and emotions, and that interactions between the two may reinforce the link between memory and emotions. All humans take in a massive amount of input from the world around them every day. Emotion is one of the gateway factors in deciding which input will be stored in long-term memory. This way we remember clearly where we were on September 9th, 2001. There is also research being done to prove that it is easier to remember these events when we are feeling the same emotion we felt when we first received that specific input. For example, while you are happy on a beach, you may be able to easier recall happy memories of a memorable family gathering more than recalling a negative event. There is also a principle that adds another layer to the link between emotions and memory, and it's called the peak-end rule. This rule states that we tend to remember and overemphasize the peak, best or worst moment in the last moment, and neglect the duration of the experience. For example, an experiment that was conducted for this theory had people rating their pain in 14-degree water. The first group was put in for 30 seconds and the second group was put in for 90 seconds. The only difference besides the time was that for the second group, the water got warmer towards the end of their experience. The study showed that the first group rated their pain as worse than the second group because of the theory of how the ending affects the whole. This explains why there is so much power in a final scene in a movie. When something ends, it is one of the biggest indicators of how the rest of the experience will be remembered. If the peak of the movie and the end line up well, then we walk out of the theater with that final scene etched in our mind. I feel all this scientific research gives me enough to break out my inner poetic self. Best summed up in a quote from Maya Angelou. "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel."